How's it going, everybody? Anthony or Deathkiller here. And for those of you who don't know, Andrew Gower and Paul Gower, the creators of RuneScape, the RuneScape we love and play, have announced they are making a new MMO. Now, some people might think it's just Andrew Gower, but Paul Gower has stated that he is also working on it. While I'm sure it's mostly done by Andrew, it's nice to know they're both working together. Who knows if the other brother is working on it as well, but for now, that's all we know. That being said, I want to go over this kind of every step of the way, give my opinion, etc. There's a trailer. We're going to watch the trailer. I've already seen it. I'm going to give my opinions, my takes on it, etc. We're going to go down and look at a lot of other stuff. The game is projected to release in Q3 2024. Their company is called Fen Research Ltd, and the game is called Brighter Shores. If you want to go check it out and watch the trailer and stuff before I go over it. Without further ado, let's get right into the trailer. Okay, so let's start the thing. I'm going to have the audio on, but if you want better audio, we'll go from there. So anyways, let's go and play it.
Hopeport Town Guard? Then here's what you need to know. We're not just about fighting fire toads.
So one thing I want to say immediately. Graphically, the game actually looks good. I know some people don't like it, but to me, this is the art style I expect from the game. Going towards... Can you
join
go back? Yeah, you can. Okay, so... This is the art style I expect right here. These character art styles, I expect and like this when it comes to the Gower brothers. This is what I expect from them. This is what I like from them. The tiles actually look kind of tasteful. It gives a nice tabletop and TTRGB feel to the game. It makes it feel more lighthearted and not so super serious, those little tile graphics. I know that's weird to say because some people don't like tile graphics, but to me, tile graphics don't necessarily take away from the game and the immersion. It gives it a more lighthearted feel and a just different kind of take on it. It makes it feel like you're playing a TTRPG, which isn't a bad thing. I really do like the assets. I think they look very good. I think they look nice. They're smooth. They look decent, but at the same time, they don't look overly complicated and complex. I think it works very well. So there is that. Going here.
Hopeport Town Guard? Then here's what you need to know. We're not...
The animations are kind of nice. I like the little frog animations. I like the kind of stuff that's going on. I really like that you can very clearly tell what the enemies are because they have the nice little red outline. Like this has a red outline, this has a red outline, this has a red outline. So you can tell these guys are enemies, and obviously this one's not outlined. So whatever, and this one's not outlined, but whatever. But you can see that. So that gives you a good take. Like, okay, so this is an ally. This is so this is a player, this is a player, this is a player. I like that from like a general looking at standpoint. One thing I do have to say, and you're going to notice it throughout the entire thing, the game feels small. For an MMO, because this is an MMO, the game feels very small because if you look here, look at this. You are in a small room and there's not really much backdrop. Like, yeah, there's like dark fog, but there's not really much going on. You know what I mean? It's just basically black with no background, and it could just be the way they're viewing it. And you have this small little area like arena, and you'll notice that this just seems to be the world, right? You just have these small areas, and it feels almost instance based. And while I don't think it's bad, and this can be done definitely tastefully, this definitely feels like a negative or something very iffy, and to me it doesn't instill a lot of confidence I have into the game. And I hate to say that because I'm really looking forward to them. I obviously loved old school RuneScape, or loved the original RuneScape and stuff like that, but it makes me nervous because instant style games really make me nervous, and this has an instance feel. And maybe even if it's not an instance, you only have a small bit of an area rendered, right? It could be open world, but you only have this small area rendered. Like, going back even to here, you can tell nothing over there is rendered. And they're very strategic with their placements. Like, look, even in the next area, I'm going to mute this for a bit.
So you want to join
I guess it didn't work.
Hopeport Town Guard?
And look, this as well. It's just black in the background. Like, yeah, you can kind of see stuff, but it's super dark. Like, it's very clear you only render one small area at a time. And it's going to make the game it's going to make the world feel very small if we're only going from these small tile sets to small tile sets. Now, it could also be very big areas, but you only render one small section at a time, kind of like RuneScape loads in chunks. And it could be like that. And, maybe for the sake of this, they only loaded one chunk. Who knows? But the way they show it, it looks like you only render one small chunk of the game at a time. And that's not really nice. I don't really like that. I like having a better view of the game and the world, especially in modern day gaming where people's PCs aren't complete crap. I think this is a bit of a negative. And this is just my take. I'm not trying to shit on the game too much, but it's something I immediately noticed when I watched it for the first time. But that's my real main nitpick so far about what I've seen. A lot of other stuff I'm actually, like, it looks okay to good. It does, but this is just one thing I'm nervous about because it does make and even in other areas it does look weird.
Then
but we'll
here's what you
go over
need
those
to
as we see
know.
them.
We're not just about fighting fire toads. We also investigate potential threats and help out the people we meet. All recruits will learn how to use magic, alchemy, and whatever this thing is. You will also be trained in essential survival skills, like fishing, blacksmithing, and assembling dinosaurs. So, set sail for brighter shores.
So this is an area of what I mean right here. It really, like, looking at this, you can see the black unrendered stuff around, and it kind of ruins that. Like, this is clearly meant to be a nice little fishing port where, you know, you have the little bit of rain / snow coming down. It has that nice cold atmosphere. You can see the fish swimming, and then you can see the weeds. Then there's the wall that leads to the ports, and then there's just fucking black nothing, and it takes away. But a lot of the other stuff I'm excited for, like the professions, look interesting, but that still have that RuneScape feel. I get a RuneScape vibe from this, and I know they have they're doing the RuneScape voice actor thing. I get it, but like I get that nice RuneScape vibe, that homely. I think I would put it's that homely feel that RuneScape, old like RuneScape content gives you, like the OG RuneScape content gives you. That's what I get from this. I get a nice homely vibe from it. So as much as I'm kind of nitpicking on this one design aspect, it's not going to ruin my chances of playing the game. I'm still going to play it regardless, but it is something that is a concern, because I do think that would potentially take away from newer people playing the game, because the reality is there's going to be a lot of RuneScape players playing the game, but what about people who don't play RuneScape and maybe they want to try the game because, like, oh, I've heard these guys are making a new game, I've heard of RuneScape, this is my chance to get in on a brand new version of the game that's starting fresh. This isn't old school RuneScape, this isn't RuneScape 3, this is Brighter Shores, this is brand freaking new. Everyone's starting from nothing. It's going to be cool and interesting, and then people are going to see the black background and be like, really? There's no backdrop? There's no extra rendering in this MMO? I'm just going from one rendered tile set to another? I don't know. I feel like it could be done better. And again, it could simply be the way they're recording. It could simply be the way they're making the video. It could just be because this is beta. I'm nitpicking it because it's the most glaring thing you see. I'm harping on it so much because it is the most glaring thing that you see when you watch this. Everything else looks good, and then there's just this glaring flaw. And I don't think it's simple, because it might not be, but it just feels like it's not too difficult to resolve by allowing more than one render or tile set to be rendered, right? And that's my concern, is that we've only seen one tile set rendered at a time visually throughout everything. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, I've only seen like one tile set. Anyways, let's move on.
Today,
Defend researches their game, is their combat. So right here, you can already tell there's like the combat trial, and I really like it's clearly the same kind of basically turn-based combat. I like it. It fits their style of game. Combat isn't a gigantic thing. It's a supplement to the fun, quirky worlds they end up building. I think they really do have a nice touch. But this is kind of what I mean as well. Like, look, you have this small fucking arena that they have where you're having fighting, doing combat, and then you have it kind of rendered, but then it just trails off in the darkness. And there's nothing really rendered. You just have a small tile set rendered. Like, it would be cool if you had more than just this rendered. Who knows? Maybe it's just because you're in combat or just because we're doing an activity. But it feels dumb. Same thing with this. I mean, same thing. You can literally see the black background. I'm harping on it too much. Sorry. It's in your face. So one thing I do want to mention, I like that magic. I like that it still has that sandboxy feel where you can do whatever you want. I really do like that. I get that sandbox feel. They've learned fucking nothing. I saw this, And I was excited for this, and then they throw this at us. Why? Why? For those of you who don't know what this is, or don't understand what this is, bless your hearts. But for everyone else who's done the elf storyline quests and have done the puzzles, why? This isn't fun. You have a chance to not do this, and they do it anyway. It doesn't look bad though. It's I'm saying that, and like, I'm already looking at how to solve this, by the way. So it looks, I don't know which one's the starting one, but it looks like you gotta like connect it over to this pillar. Okay, so it's got to get over to this pillar, I'm assuming. So this is almost solved. Where you go boom, boom, boom over and turn that one there. So boom, boom over there. So that's good. And then, yeah, boom, boom, boom. I don't actually know. Actually, I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm actually a little torn. Huh. I'm trying to solve it. And like, I'm very bad at these. I'm trying to solve it, but like, I don't know where it starts. I have a feeling that's where it ends. I don't know where it starts, though. Anyways, moving on. Again, this is good, though. I like this, but it feels very small in comparison. I get a very, again, instancy feel from this game, and that's not necessarily a good thing. We'll have to see how it actually, when we're in-game and seeing actual gameplay footage, not just trailer footage, it's going to really dictate how good or bad this rendering is. But to me, so far, I'm not a big fan of it, but who knows? I love the professions. Clearly, again, you got the RuneScape vibes, the sandbox MMO. I really do like, though, that it feels like there's... I get the vibe... I'm going to finish, and I'll tell you. I mean, I like the profession stuff. I have no complaints about professions. We don't even know what they're going to be like. But I like the mystery. I like the hidden stuff. I really do like it. Okay, let me get out of this real quick. Okay, so I really do like it. I think it's very good. We'll look at the pictures here. I really like it. I think overall, like, the vibe I get from the game is very homely. It has that very, that homely feel that original RuneScape has if you played it. It has that nice, lighthearted adventure feel while still retaining an overall kind of little bit of stories going on, adventuring. It's more about the world in its life than about some grand story is what I'm getting from this, and I like that. I like that feeling with the game. Granted, I'm not huge into story and lore with any games in general. I'm more about the actual gameplay, moment-to-moment gameplay, but the vibe I get is very nice. I feel like they really honed in on that original RuneScape vibe from both the graphics, the game, the aesthetic, the gameplay, and the general like just mystery, like the way it looks built. I get that nice homely kind of just play a game and have fun with friends. Do like it. This kind of again hinders into the rendering thing. I need to stop harping on it. I like the crafting. It seems like crafting is now just like you make stuff and you get it. So I do like it. I like the variety. The combat is kind of nice. You have a small hotbar of actions that you can do. It looks like you combined actions, and it's not a lot. It's just a basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 actions. It doesn't look like there's any more, and it's like you have a hard health potion, mana potion, and then some regular combat actions tied here. So it looks nice. It looks like you can just drag stuff like you can in RuneScape 3. Just drag stuff on your keypoints and do that. I think that's pretty good. They do actually wait. Hold on, wait. Never mind. I'm completely mistaken. It's actually broken down. So you get 3 weapon abilities, 3 special abilities, and then 2 potions. So you have like your mana pot and your health pot, it looks like, or something of that nature. You have your special abilities, and then you have your weapon abilities. So that's or your weapon. So you can choose which weapon you're doing, then you reach special attack you're doing. I like that it still has what seems to be almost like the RuneScape swapping style, where you can swap your stuff on a fly based on what you're doing. I actually really like that. I think it still keeps track to that old kind of turn-based combat, where rather that your strategy is more about using the right weaponry and combat technique than actually what you're doing. And I like that. It's more about reacting slash prepping for the encounter rather than doing moment to moment. I need to press all these buttons and all prayerful looking. It feels a lot more homely, or a lot more simpler. And I'm okay with it, but still has combat, obviously. I like that there's the combat trinity. We'll go over the combat trinity later. This is what I mean, though. Look at this. This is kind of what I mean. You have the arrows pointing to load new sections. I'm not a big fan of it. I'll be honest. It looks like you go and walk over the tiles. It loads the next tile set and it'll unrender this tile set. I'm not a big fan of it. And that's what this screenshot gives me. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, without playing the game and judging it from purely this, like the images and videos we're getting, I'm not necessarily a fan of it. I'm going to give it a shot. I might be able to look past it, or I might like it. But looking at it now, it doesn't look good. Talking about the UI, I like the very simple UI. It definitely has that good mobile integration feel to it. It looks like it's designed to potentially, and I think this is kind of where the game has a lot of its rendering flaws, is it definitely looks like it's being made to be rendered into mobile. This UI just speaks to me of something that's potentially going to be rendered into mobile. But I like it. I kind of like it. It's sleek. You have all your stuff here that you can open up and utilize. I think it's good. I like I don't know if this is actually a thing, but I like what's almost looking like positive and negative effects, telling you like whether or not something's good or bad. I could be wrong, but it looks like it, so that's good. I actually like the little text box. It's pretty good. I like the little main story thing here. I think this is good. I like the little bit thing telling you up where you are. It's just small. It's a nice touch. I know a lot of games do it, but I really like when they do that. It's not intrusive. It feels the most natural with the text of the area. I think the text is kind of nice. It's nice. It's noticeable. It's in your face, so you know to read it. And so there's that. Again, with the rendering thing, I'm trying not to harp on it. See, this is cool. I like this. I like these. Like, this looks like almost like a nice little profession/gathering area. I like the little skilling circle up here, so you can see kind of like almost like your gathering skill or whatever skill this is. I like this, so that's pretty nice. And we're gonna see this recurring theme. Go past this. Yeah. So like, what kind of? I don't know if this is necessarily XP or whatever. The backpack is kind of interesting. I'm getting RuneScape Classic vibes from it. I'm going to be honest, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm getting RuneScape Classic vibes. And I could be wrong. It could just be this guy has a bunch of gear in his bag, but it looks almost like your bag and your equipped items are basically shared. And again, it's not a bad thing, but I do get that vibe. I hope we can get some kind of inventory increase system here, because this doesn't seem like a lot, but it does look like stuff might stack, so who knows. Marketplace, stuff like this, fishing. So this is something that's a little bit interesting, and it also makes me a little bit nervous. So it looks like almost like a way to combat botting, which is very interesting, is rather than trying to stop bots, they provide you with a botting function. So passive activity, there are activities that you can just do passively, and it looks like you do that even after, and it happens even after it logs out. I don't know if this is going to be a thing, but it looks like it's almost I don't want to call it in-game botting because that's super clickbaity, but that's almost what it is. Like, a lot of games will have this function where it's like an idle thing. It's like idle gameplay where like you go and do something, and then while you're not playing the game plays itself. So there's that. I don't have a problem with it. I think it works well for these kind of games because I want to go to work all day, but I don't want to be one of those people who has the game open secretly in the bottom corner of my screen while I'm fishing. Just let me fish and then log out, and it'll go. I think it's fine. I think it works, especially for like a small amount of the XP and stuff. I think it would work. I think it's a good thing. I feel like there should be a timer though. I don't think it should be something that's indefinite. I think maybe you should have like a resource tied to it. Looks like there might be. I'm hoping this is like a percentage of how much you can fill up, and maybe after like 3 to 5 hours, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, of a time frame that seems fine, like a couple hours, maybe 3 to 5 hours, it'll just be filled up, right? And then you're done, and then it can't go anymore. Maybe less, maybe more. Yeah, same here with the rendering thing here. Bothers me. These look like almost like lodestones in RuneScape. So there's those. Again, I actually kind of like the combat look. I like the nice little HUD up here. I like the HUD down here. I like it. I think it's simplistic. Not simply. I think it kind of fits the bill without taking too much real estate. Is whenever I record, my cat starts freaking out because he's talking. Merchanting. A couple more screenshots. This is gathering. There you go. All right, cool. So now let's look at the actual features and stuff. So about the game, British Shores is an all-new adventure, award-winning MMO designer Patrick Howard. Throw the land of magic and mystery is a huge adventure, huge number of professions, and try and something new. Try and find something new around the corner. British Shores features an ongoing story and hundreds of hours of gameplay. Again, Paul Gower, I believe, is working on the story and stuff, which is good because he wrote a lot of the stories for RuneScape, and I like that because I think again he knows how to write kind of that kind of stuff because he's done it for years, and I think it's nice to see them doing it. Is the best way to put it. As a news recruit of Hope Port Town, in the Hope Port Town Guard, you start as a guard. That's an interesting touch. You are looking to make a name for yourself. This soon turns out to be more challenging role than you anticipated, with a strange storm raging over the harbor and unrest from the local goblins. So it looks like you get a nice little classic starting adventure. You start out as a recruit, the bottom of the bottom. Something happens and you get a chance to immediately prove yourself. You will discover powerful magic sources and become one of the legendary classes of old. I love how we're going back to that old kind of you are the chosen. I don't know how much I like that, but I don't really get chosen vibes, and more just like you happen to discover old magic, I think is what I'm hoping it is. I'm not really a big fan of you find and become chosen. I'm not a big fan of that. Just not really me. I know a lot of people. I like being another adventurer kind of deal. Anyways, as of old, a Cryo Knight, Guardian, and a Hammer Mage. I love that instead of like magic, it's called Hammer Mage. I actually really like that. Which is fortunate because something is corrupting the deepest reaches the nearby Hope Forest, and only the strength of your newfound powers will be able to do it. And this is what I mean. I don't get chosen vibes from this. I don't really like that you have to choose a class. I'm hoping it's not actually choosing a class and more it's kind of a standard sandboxy MMO. But I wouldn't be surprised if you have to choose a class. And that kind of concerns me because I feel like that takes away from the potential of the game. Because then it's like, hey, I chose Cryo Knight and it sucks ass. Every Guardian is so much better, or Hammer Mage is so much better. I need to reroll. And then you end up having to reroll. And then it's like, oh, finally I rerolled. Oh, you mean my Guardian is now shit because of an update, and now I want to go back to Hammer, and now I want to go to Hammer Mage, or now I want to go to Cryo Knight again. It's so dumb. I wish it was just like, you can do, that's kind of the perk of RuneScape, is you can just use all the combat styles. And I'm not saying that, oh, who cares about balance? I get it. Have fun, do what you want. But it's annoying, especially if the game, which it inevitably will be, completely imbalanced. I hate to burst people's soul, but this game is not going to be perfectly balanced from the get-go, and that's fine. You know, that's part of games. Games shouldn't be balanced, in my opinion, but whatever. But, you know, if it's too terribly out of balance and people play something like Higher Mage, maybe looks super cool to somebody, but it's shit. It's dog shit. And it's literally griefing for like group content, right? Let's just say there's group content. Let's say there's group boss. And if you play Higher Mage, you're literally grieving people and no one wants to take you. You're now taking away. And then it's so dumb. Like, I feel like you should be able to choose. You should be able to freely swap from whatever. And then if something's not good, at the very least, you can still play and do content as another class until they make it better. And who knows, maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but I don't have a lot of trust in any game developer to make things balanced enough to where one fighting style, whether it be class, weapon style, whatever, is not basically considered griefing. I'm going to be honest. And especially with today's gamers, I just don't expect it. I'm going to be completely honest. Especially the more niche a game becomes, the more likely it is. And it's going to suck for anyone who chooses a bad class at the beginning and then ends up being super shit, and then you can't reroll or you can't level up the other classes on the same character. That's going to suck. But I'm hoping and I trust that you're going to be able to do all of them. But who knows is the actual answer. And it does look like it. I think one of the like pictures or screenshots or whatever, it actually did show you in the combat that you could use multiple styles almost. Trying to find it. It's like I'm probably going crazy. Yeah, here we go. We have blue and we have green. So this gives me hope a little bit that you can freely swap between them. Maybe it's like RuneScape where you just equip the weaponry, right? So that's what I'm hoping, but who knows? They call it classes and that was maybe. So there's professions. Looks like there's a bunch. You can be a fisher, forager, chef, pretty standard stuff. Forager, you gather stuff. Fisher, you fish stuff. Chef, you make meth. You can be a woodcutter, miner, or alchemist. You cut wood. You're underage, and you can make again meth. Stonemason, merchant, blacksmith, and many more. Again, stonemason, you make stone, aka crystal meth. Merchant, you sell crystal meth. Blacksmith, you make pipes to smoke crystal meth. So it's stuff like that. So pretty simple. It's a game all about drugs. RuneScape is all about drugs. This game's to be just about drugs. It's their MMO. Anyways, fascinating wildlife. Encounter a huge variety of creatures and less. I like the little design. I've always loved their monster designs. They're not crazy and they're not crazy, but like they're a little crazy, let's be honest. But they're not like super like, oh my god, what the heck? I've never seen that before. But they're also really nice and I like it, right? I've always liked their designs. They're very good at designing stuff. Discover an ongoing story. I really like this. There is membership to be expected. So if you're free, you can do Hope Port and Hope Forest. This is obviously the starting area. And then if you're premium, you get access to the mine of Mantabum, Chronopolis, and then you also get a unique character name, exclusive armor dies, change your name, and player-to-player trading. There's already cosmetics in the game. It's going to become, Rune Pass all over again, boys. I'm just trying to sound like a doomer. This is clearly just a membership thing. Standard membership stuff. If you're playing free, you get the intro stuff. If you're a paying member, you get all content. Pretty standard stuff. Honestly, I'm perfectly okay with it. Overall, I'm quite excited for the game. I'll be completely honest. And I'm actually very optimistic in it being just something fun to do. Obviously, they don't have a AAA dev team around them, etc., etc. But overall, I do think the game's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good play from what I've seen. And considering they made RuneScape, unless he's really fallen from grace, I think it's going to turn out fine. Do I think it's going to beat RuneScape? It's hard to say. There's no gameplay shown us. It's hard to tell how good it's going to be or how bad. I think it has the recipe to be a good game. If they could just fix fucking rendering issue. I swear to God, this is the dumbest shit I've seen. I do not want to load what's essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 9x9 tile set. Ooh, I can only have 9x9 loaded at a time. That's so fucking dumb. This is the dumbest thing I've seen. I really hope they change this because it infuriates me more than anything. And I think I've spent most of the video talking about this. I do not like this, and I really hope they change this. I don't want to have a fucking 9x9 fucking area loaded. It's just not fun. Like, I'm fine with chunks being loaded, but like, don't give me a singular 9x9. I'm hoping it's because maybe they teleported to spots and it's not loading anything else but the one spot. That's what I'm hoping, but who the hell knows? Anyways, that being said, I'm probably going to stay up to this game. It comes out in Q3 of 2024, so fairly soon, I'll be completely honest, so that's not bad. Not good, but not bad. It feels a little soon, but also it seemed like he kind of wanted the game as finished as he could before he even announced it, which I think is a good thing. So that's good. Hoping for the best. Honestly, I want to give it a shot. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you then.